Rassie, maybe let's start with the fly-off. Damien's obviously the backup fly-off. Maybe just a thought process in that, and Sasha and Andre not in the 23. Just thoughts around it.
Sasha and Andre will probably play in Cape Town, so we're trying to spread the load a little bit there. Yeah, and then not having a flyer from a bench. We know Damien can play flyer for us. We've tend to find in the past, the only time that we really swap a flyer is maybe if he's having an off day, but it's or when he's missing goal kicks, and Mani's been really slotting them really well. I think the new Rhino balls might be a little bit of a difference there. He's really doing well there. And yeah, we felt we had to have a 13 cover with Damien Dalende normally covering 13 for us, but with him having a bit of a niggle, he'll be ready next week. We felt we'll have to have Kanan on the bench, so it was between having Andre or Sasha on the bench or having Kanan on the bench, because we don't have an out-and-out 13 cover, but we do have a 10 cover in Damien.
Rassie, also maybe if you could just talk to us about just having Siya at 8, and also usually do this on a Tuesday. Is the reason why you decided to?
No, because we've been preparing 3 weeks for Australia, where it doesn't normally happen. It's normally after the incoming series, the next test match is pretty a little bit closer or shorter period before we. And why we're announcing it as early is to get the speculation out of the way, and all the so you guys can actually speculate about the team that are playing. So the team knows already who's playing. So getting this out of the way, we can just focus on the really training well and preparing. We might, if they go 6-2, which we might have if you look at the spread of their squad or the balance of their squad, there's a lot of forwards in there that they brought on tour. If they go 6-2, we might change on Thursday or Friday and bring Erke back into the mix. But if they go standard 5-3, this would pretty much be our team. So yeah, that's just to get it out of the way and focus on training. And tomorrow is a pretty heavy day for us, and to fit in a press conference, we've changed our schedule a little bit in terms of training. And tomorrow is going to be quite a busy day for us, and we just thought getting it out of the way. What was the other question? Siya at 8. We actually changed our mind there. The more we practiced and prepared, we realized that the only position the guy really plays at 8 is at scrums. And scrums is probably the thing that happens 13 or 14 times in a game. But general play is probably the thing that happens the most. And with having a guy like Peter and Marco and Siya on the field, at the same time, we really feel Australia is a big threat at the breakdown. They really bite hard at the breakdown, and all three of those guys are really good guys who clean out at the breakdown, and we feel we're going to need that. So yes, Siya's probably going to pack 6 scrums, and sometimes on defense he might be at flank, and Marco might be at 8. So Don is happy with the way he's scrumming. So it's actually just at scrumming where he's 8. Apart from that, the guys will in general play in defense and attack. So I know I said a couple of weeks ago Siya has a 6, not an 8. But we came to the conclusion that it won't happen so much in the game where we actually need him at 8. So, and then we have Kwagga on the bench who can cover us there as well.
Rassie, with Grant starting and Curtis on the bench, did you not consider picking Morne maybe to play at his home ground?
Yeah, it's always nice to do that, like we played Faf and Nelspruit, but when we get up to teams that's better and better and really competitive, and we see Australia as a really good team, and I think everybody is seeing how they're improving and they're building up to a nice World Cup in their home country. You sometimes have the luxury of playing guys at their home venue, but sometimes, unfortunately, you can't be too emotional. But Krappies will get a chance next week in Cape Town. Hopefully, if things goes according to plan. If you lose momentum, then sometimes you change your plans. I think Andre would have loved to play as well. I know it's not his home ground, but he knows this part of the world pretty well. But he also knows him and Sasha knows Cape Town pretty well. So Krappies, hopefully, if things goes according to plan. Sometimes you want to not make always the emotional best for the person the decision, but what's the best for the team. And Krappies is probably one of the the most humble and serving team members that we have in the team. He understands.
Rassie, people always like to sort of label, what the best first 15 is, your best choice team. But would you say this is more of a sort of mixing match? I mean, we obviously can't call it your second stringers, but it's not your first 15 either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you take Handre, Mani, and Flash, we've spoken so many times about that. And if you take the 3 nines, I think all 3 is test match quality. Same with the centres, Damien Dukes is a Damien Dalenda. We all know he's world class, but Andre has never dropped us there, and that's a pure injury sub there. We know Jesse and Kanan and Ethan, all 3 of them are test match level, but Jesse is probably our most experienced there. Then Cheslin had a little bit of a knee, so it's not. Edwell is doing really well. He's never lost a test match, and I think he's on 4 tries or 3 tries in 2 matches. And then fullback, Willie, we got to his 100 and he's learning, or he's teaching a lot to the young guys now. And, he's Fussy is probably ranking-wise between him and Damien. They're competing really well there, with Willie as a solid backup there. So I think if you look overall in the back line, it's maybe the 10s you can discuss a little bit. The 9s we know are really close. I know Kobus is 34 already. But he brings a nice, solid, experienced vibe when he gets onto the park. But I think Grant's been firing really well. He's over his injuries, he's been doing really well for us. Then you look at the pack. I don't think anybody can argue that front row starting is definitely. If they're not the best, they're very close to the best in our squad. And there's 1 or 2 guys off the bench. Pongi is very experienced. Wolfjan Hendrik, who's a youngster who's played against Australia before, and giving us a run with experienced guys like Bongi next to him. Sous, who's off the, Luit and Evan, they understand each other. They've played under these circumstances. And then Marcus, Siya, and Pieter-Steph. I think it's pretty solid. But we hope if things goes according to plan, next week we'll hopefully give some other guys. There'll be a few guys that swing in both matches. But yes, I think it's a relatively strong team that we picked.
Rassie, after that first Italian match at Loftus, you spoke about how you guys had a really good training week, and then things didn't really go to plan for the match. So is that something that's sort of been in your guys' mind in this build-up? You've had a good couple of weeks training, and now you're going big time this week. Have you sort of changed anything in the build-up to try and make sure something like that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, well, the guys would have had 7 days, 10 days off, and we cancelled that, and we had it's our 3rd week of being in camp now. I think we've been together for 9 weeks now. I think you actually asked me the question there that with the bomb squad when they came on didn't do that well. We don't have a bomb squad in this game. We've got a 5-3 split, and if you actually go and look at that game, we didn't want to sound like a team that has a lot of excuses, but it was actually 2 minutes where we lapsed. We were, I think, 27 or 29-3 up, or 25-3, I can't remember. And then there was like 3 minutes where the guys just scored 1 maul try from inside the 22. But, we still gave them 42-20. So I think our expectations are really, really high from the team. And we disappointed ourselves with the intensity there. I don't think the start was bad. I think we had actually a really good start. I think when you see the scoreboard and you think, we're 25-3 up, that's a lesson that we definitely learned. I don't think we'll have the luxury of Australia being up with 20 points and the guys relax a little bit. So sometimes when you start too well, you think, okay, this is going to be an easy game. And we certainly learned a lesson from that. But, we're playing Tier 1 nations now, and we're playing teams that beat the British and Irish Lions. So, firstly, we tried to rectify that during the second Italy test match and the Georgia test match, and then up the intensity of training and have an extra week of training. So hopefully, If that happens again on Saturday, us as coaches are doing something. I'm not talking scoreboard-wise, I'm talking intensity-wise. We as coaches missing a trick.
Thanks guys. Bloggers off. Can you